I introduce myself, let me ask you a few questions. By the way, I'm not a professional speaker. I do speak a lot about ADHD, but I'm not a professional speaker, so I'm gonna refer to my notes, and you're gonna do whatever you want with that. Okay, have you ever started a project with explosive energy? Yeah. And abandoned it completely? Okay. Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up if you have on your browser, maybe on more than one, 17 or maybe 100 tabs open.
Yeah.
And you cannot close any of them?
Yes.
That's
Okay. Yeah, you
Still
know.
can't figure out where the music's coming
Right?
Yeah.
Which one has the music, right? Oh, wait, keep your hand up. Keep your hand up, okay. Keep your hand up if somebody in your life ever told you, hey, would you please focus for 5 minutes? Right? Okay, great. You're my people. Okay. Now maybe you specifically didn't raise your hand. That's totally fine. I still ask you to stay with me because good chances are, if you don't have it, somebody in your family has it, an employee might have it, a friend might have it, family member, okay? They're probably undiagnosed. Now, what happens is, if you live with people, if you lead people, if you hire people, knowing what I'm going to talk about is going to help you get better at all three.
Can you use the microphone?
Oh, yes, I can. You cannot hear me?
I have to spend energy to hear you, and
Okay,
it's
thank you.
easier to focus on your words.
Yeah, sure, totally. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's better.
Better? Okay, great. So it's not just about me, it's not a me talk, it's you and your people talk. Now, 85% of people with ADHD are undiagnosed. That's a whole lot of people. And the person that you might have been quietly a little bit frustrated with because they're inconsistent, or they're always late, or they're disorganized. Good chances are that they have undiagnosed ADHD, and you can help them. You can actually help them. Okay. Of course, I need 2 remotes because one is not enough for ADHD. So a little bit about myself. You can see on the slide, the only reason for this slide is for you to understand I'm not a hillbilly. Okay, and that I know what I'm talking about. I was diagnosed with ADHD late in life, roughly about 5 to 6 years ago. And all my life I thought that there's something wrong with me. I might be either lazy or, I don't know, something was wrong. And maybe my brain is broken. And how come things that are so easy for other people are impossible for me? Not even difficult, just impossible. Why filling forms and staying on task is so darn hard. Who hates filling forms? Thank you. Turns out I was only running a different brain hardware. We're going to talk about that. And of course, a disclaimer before I dive in, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a mental health professional, I am not a therapist. Of any kind, I don't play one on TV, and I'm an entrepreneur that has lived this, still living it, and read everything I could put my hands on. I listened to YouTube videos of, I researched the heck out of it. And I have access to a neuroscientist that is specializing in this area. And what I'm sharing today is a very concise intro to what ADHD is and what it isn't, because I know what it means to know about it. Just a mere knowledge. Hey, it has a name. It has a characteristics. This is how it works. it made such a huge difference to my life. I'm going to share my personal experience and what I've learned, and I request that if any of this resonates with you, do your own research. Go talk to a mental health professional. Even if it's not related to you, maybe there's something you want to know. Go research. Now, if this doesn't resonate with any of your beliefs or thoughts or knowledge, that's totally fine. Take whatever works for you, leave the rest behind. Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. And I'm not selling or promoting anything, just to be clear. I'm here to serve our community. Okay. And as a side note, I'll be quoting heavily from this book, ADHD 2.0. I think it's a great book. It gives a lot of information, not overwhelming. I'll provide some more resources at the end. And since I have only 30 minutes, I would kindly ask you to write down your questions, and we will have Q&A time at the end. So I want to run through everything that I have, and then at the end, we will have time for questions. Is that okay?
Yep.
Great, thank you. All right. So this is something that either is going to make you happy or very concerned about the business community. 29% of entrepreneurs are diagnosed with ADHD. I personally think it's a much higher number in reality. Yes, but these are the research. This is the research. So I'm just quoting from the research. General population runs about 4 to 5%. So statistically, this room is not normal. Now,
We're a different country.
just as a quick show of hands, how many people have either been diagnosed, if you're willing to share, okay? Either have been diagnosed or you have been self-diagnosed throughout the years with ADHD? Okay, yeah, makes sense. Thank you. Now, if you don't have it, your co-founder, your business partner, or your star salesperson, right? They most likely have it. And that's one of the reasons I kept bugging Jeff to allow me to present this to the community. Right. So what is ADHD? I'm going to be pretty concise about this because if I were to tell you everything I learned, we'll be here for 3 days. So that's not happening. But people with ADHD, they're challenged with 3 main domains: being easily distractible, highly impulsive, and hyperactive. And I'll break it down a little bit more soon. Now, on the other side, I don't want to sugarcoat it. ADHD is no picnic. Not for us, nor for the people around us. But it also has many upsides that people don't talk about and maybe don't even know about. Especially for the people with ADHD, because we think, oh, what I can do is normal. Everybody can do it. No. Among other downsides, and this is, I think, going to come as a shock to some people, because it was to me, people with undiagnosed and untreated ADHD have a much lower life expectancy. So if you were to smoke cigarettes, 20 cigarettes a day, your average life expectancy would be lowered by 6.5 years. For people with ADHD, we're talking about 13 years of life.
Wow.
13 years. That's a lot. And one of the reasons I'm here is because Dr. Russell Barkley, he mentions that ADHD is the most the most treatable mental condition that we have in all of psychiatry. The most. When I'm talking about the most, I'm saying 80% and more of people that are being treated are being treated successfully. So it's successful. So, you know, if you're not aware of that, or you don't know about it, and you don't know how to listen for it, you don't get treated, or you don't allow somebody else to get treated, that's a big risk. And what I like about these guys' approach is that they are strength-based approach, and not, let's just talk about everything that doesn't work. Now, this is an honest performance review of what the upsides and the downsides of ADHD are, and this is not an exhaustive list. There are more. I didn't want to bring all of this because it's going to be a lot. So let's just talk about the upsides. We are very hyper-focused when we're passionate about something. We have high risk tolerance. So think about all the firefighters and your army people and the policemen who would do these jobs if we didn't have high risk tolerance. You'll find a lot of those in those professions. We're creative, lateral thinking. Think about this room, right? We have great ideas. Pattern recognition at speed. That's one of the things that I thought, hey, everybody has that, right? Nope. Intense loyalty and energy. And when I say energy, you know, some people are very, very charismatic. Yes. Now, there are many, many downsides, and I compacted them to a few, but the list is much longer. Completely offline when bored. So you cannot make a person with ADHD be interested in something that they're not. You cannot make, no. On the other hand, you cannot teach curiosity. This is not a trait you can teach, right? You cannot make anybody curious about something, but when we're curious about something, oh my goodness, we'll go to town. Impulsive decisions. Yeah, I have the receipt for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. All those high heel shoes that I never wear. Yeah. 11 or actually 101 unfinished projects. Oh. Laugh over recognition. And yeah, they're still waiting in my garage. Cannot find my keys and always late. And I want to say something about it. Not everybody is the same. I don't lose my keys. I don't lose my phone. But some people, this is consistent for them. But time awareness is something that people with ADHD are highly, highly, it's a real challenge. Yeah, thank you. Challenged with. Thank you. Because we have two time areas. Either it's now or not now. Mm-hmm. So Jeff approved this presentation 2 months ago. When do you think I finished it?
This morning.
Thank you. Yeah.
Which?
All the answers are right. Now, what else? Yeah, always late. Emotional regulation. So I want to say a few things about that. Emotional regulation is both internal and external. So we are very sensitive. It doesn't look like that way, but we get hurt really easily, and that's a known factor by now in psychology and psychiatry, that people with ADHD are a lot more sensitive as a baseline. Now the other side of it, and again, this is not, I'm not going to go very deep into that. Some people with ADHD seem to be not very noticing that they might not notice what other people's emotions are. Now, again, a topic I will not talk about is what the medical term is called comorbidities, so other gifts that come with ADHD. So common are dyslexia and autism on different levels, and depression, anxiety, OCD, all of these, they come as friends of ADHD. Okay, now, on top of these, we have a strong tendency for procrastination. Again, like I said, time awareness and decision making is excruciatingly difficult. I researched a new car for 2 years.
Wow.
2 years, yes. We have a new car now, but it took 2 years. I kid you not. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. There are different types of ADHD, and you'll see in the medical literature, you'll find different variations of this or the other. Some people say there are 7, some people say, it doesn't matter, right? It will help you to look at it this way, because what you normally see are the hyperactive, are the people that are all over the place, right? They're chatty, they cannot stop moving, they're energetic, they're risk-taking, all of that, right? These are the hyperactive ones. There are the inattentive ones. The inattentive ones are the ones that are the most easy to miss. That's how I got missed. That's how a lot of women and girls get missed or underdiagnosed, because we don't go crazy, like all over. We don't bounce off the walls. I was very happy as a kid to sit with a book for hours and read and not bother anybody, or play with my toys, whatever they were. And nobody would have suspected that I have ADHD. What happens in life with the inattentive type is that they face the difficulty later, when life gets more busy, more complex. For instance, for me, it hit when I went to university, and it was very easy to go through high school and elementary school, all of that. I didn't have to put a lot of effort, but then university, first year, I'm like, what just happened? And what happened is that it's a lot more complex, so you have to study. And I never learned how to study. For other women or other people, it can be the first time they have a new child, and all of a sudden they have the parent responsibility on top of the work and career and life and all of that. And let's be honest about it, because in most households, the women take a lot of the child rearing or child taking care of responsibilities in our culture. And on the other side of it, we have executives with ADHD, the males are more likely to get support and help rather than the females. So there's that. Now, there's also the mixed type, a little bit of both. They can be very social, they can be introvert. There's a little bit of both. So this is an analogy to help you visualize it in a different way. How many of you wear glasses or you have contacts? And what if I told you, hey, instead of the glasses or the contacts, just try squinting harder. Just try. right? How would that work? Not very well. I know I'm completely blind without my contacts. I cannot see anybody. Like, I can see you, but I don't know who you are. Having ADHD doesn't mean that our brain is broken. It just means it works differently. It's a different way, just like different eyesight is manifested in the eyes. It's the same thing with our brain. It's literally hardware. Yeah. I'm going to show you the brains. So this is something that a neuroscientist by the name Michael Sprikel, he discovered through fMRI imaging. He saw that in the brain there are two networks. One of them, imagine if we had two radio stations, right? One is when you're at rest, let's call it, what did I call it? Dream mode, right? He called it default mode network. It's when you're creative, you just sit down, daydream, you have ideas, you have future thinking. Whereas task mode is when you need to get something done, right? Now, in most brains, or neurotypical brains, when the task mode goes up, dream mode goes down. With an ADHD brain, both radio stations are playing at the same time on most volume. So it doesn't fade out. So imagine how difficult it is to stay on task when everything around you is taking your attention. You have a magnetic pull towards distraction. It's just physical. Now, if you've ever been in a meeting and you were trying to listen, like really trying, but you found yourself all of a sudden, hey, for the last 10 minutes I've been planning my vacation, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the default mode network at play. What you often see with people with ADHD is not attitude or laziness. It's literally two networks competing when they shouldn't have been. Now, here's something that even most doctors don't know about or don't talk about. There's an area of the brain that is called the cerebellum. It's right here. Right here. And the cerebellum has a midline called the vermis. In brains of people with ADHD, the vermis tends to be a little bit smaller on average. And this is the area that controls focus and emotional balance. Funnily enough, it's also the area that controls physical balance. I don't know if that's true for you, but many people with ADHD, their geographical awareness is not very good. Yeah? Okay. Now, there is a fix for that. Not fix, but something you can help yourself with, and that is movement. It has been proven beyond, time and time again, that movement helps. It helps us focus, it helps us regulate emotion, and it helps us also create the right chemicals for ourselves to get us to the next thing. And this is why people with ADHD are much better, much more productive when they think while they're moving, pacing, walking, fidgeting. My husband, every time he needs to solve a problem, he's a programmer. Every time he needs to solve a problem, he's walking, in the corridor and talking to himself. And that's just how it is. Okay, let's talk about things that are specific to this community. The founders or the entrepreneurs' Achilles heel. This is funny because there's a danger zone, right? If we're being honest about the superpowers, let's talk about the downsides as well, the kryptonite. So the ADHD entrepreneurial brain is exceptional at 0 to 1. What do I mean by that? Creating something out of nothing, tolerating uncertainty, moving fast. But the danger zone hits at 1 to 100 when the business matures and the work becomes payroll and compliance and repetition. Oh my goodness, just kill me now.
Yep.
The same novelty-seeking brain that built the rocket absolutely cannot maintain it. So don't give them that job. Just don't. And don't give us minutia unless we're engineers. And even then, give them the right minutia to deal with. Now, the solution that Hallowell and Bradley point to, it's simple, but it's also difficult. Why? Because people with ADHD are known to be a little bit stubborn, maybe, and they want to do it all by themselves. So the solution that they're suggesting and have been proven to work, and I'll show you a few examples in a few slides, is hire your opposite. Hire the person that needs to put in the systems and the procedures and loves doing that. The accounting, all of that. Hire it out. You need the operational stabilizer that will fill in for everything that you don't want or cannot do. Basically, they said that the ADHD brain is like a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes. So, so don't waste a Ferrari. Don't waste a Ferrari brain on bicycle tasks. I want to show you that you can have ADHD and still be very successful. I'm sure you're familiar with most of the names on the slide. If not with all, that's okay. My favorite is Leonardo da Vinci, because ever since I was a kid, I was very enamored with him. I didn't even know why, but he was notorious for not finishing any projects unless somebody challenged his life, like, oh, I'm gonna kill you if you don't. And the only way he could function and complete work was he had an army of assistants that did all the work he didn't or couldn't do. All the, like the painting, let's paint 100 times of this. No. And he brought new areas of knowledge into creation that were not there before. So think about that. He knew everything that was there to know at that time. And he created most of that knowledge. Now, how did they make it a success? Richard Branson, he's very, very open about having ADHD and dyslexia. He couldn't read. He brought in Nick Powell. David Newman from JetBlue brought in David Barger. Bill Gates and Paul Allen started out together, and then they brought in Steve Ballmer when the time was right. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were inseparable from the beginning, and then they brought in Tim Cook for operations. Mark Zuckerberg, although he's not formally diagnosed, he's known to have the traits, and he brought in Sheryl Sandberg to do the operations. So the CEO is often the most charismatic, outgoing, right? The fun personality, the one that is, yeah, I know, Loretta, that's 100%. And that's why we know them so well, but you might not know a lot of the names on the right side. Okay, what's happening in the brain of an ADHD, of a person with ADHD? And this is very, very simplistic, what I'm gonna say. Of course, it's a lot more complex, but just to give you an idea, what ADHD is fundamentally a dopamine regulation issue. So either our brain doesn't produce enough dopamine, or it absorbs dopamine too fast. So however much we make in our brain is not enough. The same way, we don't regulate it the same way as neurotypical brain regulates it, which means motivation, reward, and follow through work completely differently. Now, it's not that you won't do the boring thing, it's your brain doesn't have any chemical reward for doing that. So it's just impossible to do. This was a revelation for me because I spent years thinking I was lazy, but I wasn't. I was trying to run on a fuel that doesn't work for my brain. And the engineering is fine. It's like blaming a Tesla that it doesn't run on diesel. Well, good luck with that. Bless you. Now, willpower doesn't work at all. I tried it for years, believe me. I tried every book. I read business books, leadership books, self-improvement books. Like, I have a library. None of them work for me. Why? Because they're built for the neurotypical brain, not for ADHD brain. All it does is just frustrated me to the max. Yeah. Okay. Strategies for thriving. So what can we do? Or what is available to us? So first of all, movement. Aerobic exercise is a natural dose of stimulant. I know somebody that starts his day every day with an hour of aerobic exercise because otherwise they cannot function. This is a must. Really. This is a must for everybody, and there is a direct link between exercise and the way our brain works and functions, and I'm sure a lot of you know that. But for ADHD brain, it's even more so. It actually wakes up the cerebellum, and it helps us with the executive functions. Find the right difficult. Like I mentioned, don't give a person with ADHD a huge Excel to manage, because that's not going to go well. Just not. Now, we need a challenge that is just right. You know, the Goldilocks? So not something too easy. Something too easy will put us to sleep. And not something too difficult, because if it's too difficult, then we're going to be shut down and avoid it. Our job as entrepreneurs is to find that sweet spot, not just for ourselves, but also for the people that we work with or that work for us. I'll give you an example about that and how you can help your team members. Like I mentioned, my husband, after I got diagnosed, he got diagnosed, and I was like, how did I not see that? because he's definitely on the inattentive side, right? Not, let's go overboard with everything. But he had to produce certain documents for work, planning, architecture, all the things that we're so not good at. And he was just pulling his hair out. He had his conversation with his manager, and what his manager did is he paired him with somebody that this is his lifeline, right? Loves producing documents, he can do that all day, all night, great. And once they paired, it just clicked. It worked really fast, they were done. Structure, oh my goodness. We hate structure of any kind. However, for us to function in the modern society, we have to have function, structure. However, these things are skills. We need to learn skills and build systems. And one of the things that are really difficult is to help people with ADHD do that without them super resisting. But this is so helpful for us and for everybody, but for us even more so. And I'll talk about medications in the next slide, but I always say pills don't teach skills. So we do have to teach those skills. And the other thing is connection, the power of connection. People with ADHD, like I said, are even more, they're more emotionally sensitive than others, and we need connection more than others. Unfortunately, we tend to upset a lot of people. So that is a little bit of a dichotomy, but we really do need that connection, and that's why communities like this are truly therapeutic. They're not just about business. And I think today it's more evident than ever. And like I mentioned, both Dr. Hallowell and Ratley and Dr. Barkley, they say that ADHD is the most treatable mental condition we have. And when I say treatable, is we have excellent medications for ADHD. Now, before I heard about ADHD or before I was diagnosed, you would not find me touching any pill or nothing, right? I could take supplements, no problem, but nothing pharmaceutical. Even if my head hurts, I'll just let it sit. But since I understood the meaning and importance and the efficacy of the medication, it totally transformed my life. It's interesting because the way our brain works is that we have, just like Jeff said with the groups, we have the same thoughts. We have the same things that keep coming again and again and again. And when I started taking medication, I noticed that I have new thoughts I didn't have before. Hey, I can get rid of this instead of keeping it for, I don't know, however long, this thing, right? Just because I think I need to. Like, I could think, wait, this is not a priority right now, let me do this. Like, really new thoughts that I never had before. Now, it means that a lot of people can be helped with medication. And a lot of people with ADHD don't really understand that they do a lot of self-medication.
Yeah.
Coffee, alcohol, drugs, YouTube, sports, shopping, sex, work, Yep.
Sex.
Yep. All of those. Addictions. Addictions are paramount with people with ADHD. We are a lot more prone to addiction because of the dopamine, right? Food. Why obesity is such a prevalent condition with people with ADHD? Because dopamine hits. So if we can, okay, let's treat it, not with alcohol and drugs and, right? Let's treat it the way it can be treated. And it's not a crutch, it's not a shortcut. It's an opportunity for our brain to regulate dopamine the way it's supposed to. Of course, I'm not here to tell you what's right for you or for the people with ADHD in your life, but I would say go have a conversation with a professional if any of this resonates with you. And there are 2 testimonials on the board that I want just to read the last word, the last sentences for you. So Mark is a business owner that has been trying to build his business for years now. He has a successful business, but always struggling and no expansion. He said that the vacations are a miracle. I finally be able to expand my business with the care and attention to detail that's necessary. Thank you. And Jim is a musician, and he was almost 70 when I had a conversation with him about ADHD. And he didn't believe me that I have ADHD. And then I showed him how many unopened, unread emails I have on my phone. And then he did. Yeah. And he said, today I don't just manage my ADHD, I celebrate it. It has enhanced my ability and natural talent as a musician. Some closing notes. You probably heard that knowledge is power, but if you don't know that you have something or that something is affecting you, there's nothing you can do about it. And this is what this is all about. And what? Oh, okay. Yes, and I spent a long time trying to fix my brain, and I don't do that anymore. What I do instead is I understand it, and I do the things that work with it. I build my business and my life around what works, not what doesn't. It's just an easier way to live, right? Yes, ADHD is a gift that is sometimes very hard to wrap, especially for the people around us. That's why one of the books that I'm going to recommend is not only for you or the people that have ADHD, it's for you and the people around you. It's very, very helpful. However, ADHD might be just the right thing or the thing that brought you into this chair today. So, not such a bad thing. Here are a list of resources. I didn't put in too many. There are many resources. You're more than welcome to take a screenshot or a photo. I highly recommend the first and third books on the list because they are easy to read, easy to absorb, they're not very technical, and also they're to the point. As I mentioned, the book on the right bottom, Is It You, Me, or Adult ADHD? ADD, she calls it. It's like the older book, but it gives you an idea of what happens to the people around you and how do they feel. I think it's important. Okay, Gabor Mates, he takes a different approach, but I think it's still a valuable book. It's just a little bit longer. It takes more to read. And now we're at the Q&A. Chris.
Is ADHD binary or can it come in degrees?
Oh, perfect question. Thank you. He asked if ADHD is binary or comes as a
In degrees.
in degrees. Yes, thank you. Great question. ADHD is like you could say every mental condition. It's a spectrum. So you can have 0 to 100, right? Some people have more, some people have less. Yes. Great question. Thank you. Yeah, Alex.
I just wanted to comment that part of the force field for me is I'm supposed to have all the strengths of both having ADHD and not having ADHD, and this talk helped me step out of that force field.
Oh.
So, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Ryan.
If somebody has ADHD and then they get medicated, does that help their life expectancy go back to normal levels?
Yes. Did you hear the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it does. Because I find that we make better decisions when we have the medication in full effect. You know, it's less impulsive, less risk-taking. Yes.
So usually they make like a bad decision, they die from like, I don't know, being unsafe or something.
Crazy stuff that people do.
Or is it more they're self-medicating with tobacco and alcohol? I'm trying to get this.
All of it, everything you said. So both, Brian is asking why is the life expectancy of people with ADHD is lower, is because everything you said. Taking more risks.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I didn't mention is the economic situation of people with ADHD is oftentimes lower, and our prison population, probably 70 to 80% undiagnosed ADHD.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the isolation part of it too.
Isolation. Yep.
Being
Yeah.
connecting.
And when, so taking risks, unnecessary risks, I'm continuing the response to Ryan, taking unnecessary risks and making poor decisions, poor business decisions, poor personal decisions, poor financial decisions, and also self-medicating, like you said, alcohol, drugs, all kinds of other fun things. But yeah. Yeah, Loretta.
How do you introduce this idea to your teenager to be like, let's go talk to a professional about our unique brain differences?
Yeah, good
Without
question.
it being a stigma, yeah, without their sensitive brain, like, what?
That was pretty good, what you just said.
Oh, okay, good,
Yeah,
thanks.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Unique brain differences.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's help you, get better at, make it easier for you at school or in life or something. Yeah. Yeah.
How I've known this about myself for quite a while. I
Mhm.
struggle to, how did you approach a medical professional? And, because it has to come out as, I'm pretty sure I have, versus them just evaluating you and diagnosing you, I'm guessing.
So usually you take an assessment. I did 20 assessments online. And they all came up positive, and then I went to a doctor. By the way, good question. I went to a doctor, and this was just before the pandemic shut down and everything. I went to a doctor, and she was looking at me, I'm pretty well put together usually, so I had to convince her that I have ADHD. And I told her, listen, I have 50 types of tea in my house, probably more. I told her I have 100 pairs of shoes.
Wow.
And then I told her, yeah, I have 500 unfinished projects. She's like, okay, let's talk. And like I said before, women are great at masking both ADHD and autism very well, because it's not okay for us to be all over the place and talkative and this and that and take risks and, right? Because somebody's gonna tell us, hey, get a grip. Yeah.
Have you done your Colby index before that?
I haven't, but they actually recommend it in the book. Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful.
Mhm.
I mean, Kathy Colby, who's
Yeah.
been in this field many years, her thesis is that only 1 in 5,000 people who are diagnosed actually have ADD.
Yeah.
And how many people have done Colby here? So I'm a high quick start.
Mhm.
I've been diagnosed with ADD, but I don't have ADD. I'm a high quick start.
Okay.
And so for those of you that are thinking drugs or thinking, some of the things are fair that you're representing, but I've done more than 2,000 of these for employees, people, friends,
Mhm.
and the vast majority are high quick starts.
Great.
So, and
Yep.
I don't need drugs.
No problem.
I just needed my awareness.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, no, I'm just highlighting it as another option, that's all.
Mhm. Great, thank you. Thanks, Ken. Any other questions?
Thank you
Thank